only got my email and not my like. YouTube
Well,
or
look
anything
at the
else.
Yep.
time.
Well, fix that.
There was almost sound. I don't know what that means.
Oh my god.
Shriek. She's shrieking. Karis is shrieking.
Is it fixed?
Oh.
Is it good?
I feel like that means
we're heard.
They're back.
I think we're heard.
Yay.
Oh, hey, look,
All
it
right.
decided to finally work.
Huzzah!
So before sound
Okay.
comes back, let's talk again about the caloric value of the human placenta.
You just have
People
you just
don't realize.
He has to do it.
It's
like a sick impulse.
guys. I Marty was here and he drifted away for a second. So hopefully he'll be back by the half. He's in and out. But
I feel like
let's just get into the show there. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's just dive in then.
Hey, man.
We'll just take the
keeping
beginning
it-
bits as read.
Karis
you
did the
guys-
intros already.
She already
I
did.
think we
the
just
way
missed
worked
Sam.
rehearsal. This is exactly what
everybody
we did
knows
in
the video.
rehearsal.
So yeah. Have you
We're on
guys
script.
all tracked your chips?
Yep.
All
Chips-
right, let's get those
chips
gone too.
Have been shipped.
Those are also gone, so they're
Chips
not
are chapped.
mucking up the screen. And
Chips
so,
chatties.
with no further ado, let's just put you guys right back where you were. Third story, sort of open-ended building, like a cathedral with a barn door at one end. Inside it is this Viking boat-looking contraption that you have figured out will ride this ginormous cable across to whatever awaits you out in the fractured lands. All you have to do is figure out how to get it down from here, all the way down to the beach, up 200 feet onto the wire or the rope, and then up the other side. There were some contraptions built in that will allow you guys to take turns basically pedaling and rowing to cause it to climb the other side of this big swooping rope that you guys have chosen to go across. You discovered that Father Grimm, at some point, apparently almost overnight, went from being a religious leader with some following to being something akin to a cult of personality that caused things to happen at an almost supernatural rate. It's like almost overnight, everybody was pulling in the same direction all at once. Well, almost everybody.
All right, smart people,
So-
get to it.
So taking a look at all of the contraptions that they were able to find,
Yep.
that we were able to find, and I mean, look, now this thing was designed to be taken out of here and taken over to that. Now we have fewer people, but I'm sure we can figure out some way of doing this. Looking at it, does it just, I mean, is strength the easiest answer here? Just brute force?
Once you have a look at it and a look around a little bit, you notice something a little strange about this room. It's got pews down both sides of the walls. Really thick, heavy wooden pews
Let's
that
take a close-
actually
take a
that
closer
look
at
like, if you
those.
look real carefully, they look like you could lock them together at the ends and make rails out of them.
Would it help if we also reduced some of the weight in
Yeah,
this
we talked
thing?
about that last week.
Oh, did we?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, this is a very ornate thing. You guys, as far as I know, you hadn't done it yet, but yeah, this is a very ornate sort of gold-plated chariot, overdone,
Okay.
very exuberant stylistically.
I'm sorry. I
Yeah,
cannot
there's a
remember what we
lot
talked
of
about.
crap that could come off if you
That's
just want to reduce it to just a traveling frame.
Well, I mean, Lucius, Miss Alice, if one of the two of you wants to start locking those pews, make whatever contraption they can become, I'm happy to start pulling some of this gilding and gold and all that nonsense off of the palanquin, I believe it's called.
All right.
Yeah, is there maybe also there's somewhere we can stash those things? Maybe that perhaps if we come back through town, we can take these things with us and make some money off of them
We could probably melt them down into something more manageable.
on the way back. Yeah. Yeah, I guess. Just trying to
It won't take long. I mean, it's designed to come out of here, as Baptiste pointed out. So you make the rails out of they're 4 pews each, and it makes literally like launching a boat down a boat ramp. You're just going to have to push it out at the end and slide it down. It takes a little while longer to get all the stuff off, all the gilt and the big pointless chairs and all the gilding and everything else.
Yeah, I definitely
But
think we
eventually-
do that here so that it's
Yep.
easier to
Yeah,
push.
especially if you
down,
want to
too.
hide the stuff, this is probably a good place to do it, right
Yeah.
in this room. So yeah, and with that out of there and the help of your horses and yourselves, it's not a big deal to get this thing down onto the road. It will be a bit of work to get it down to the beach area, but it's not anything that requires. It's more brute force and a lot of grunting from your horses than it is anything else.
So we're gonna be sore and sleep really well tonight.
Yes, you are. Yeah.
Is it? Do you think it will be cold out into that area when we start pedaling in there?
You know from living around here, it's not cold. In fact, quite the opposite. This is the Pacific. Even this mist churned up by the water is quite warm. The issue isn't the temperature, it's the salt.
Ah,
It's incredibly salty, briny air, and it gets in everything, and it gets in your face, and it makes it hard to breathe. And it's like being in a storm the whole time you're in that misty area.
so we're
And
gonna
you've
get a
also
little bit
done the
wet
math
too.
Yeah, you're going to get soaking wet. You're not going to be able to see where you're going. It's going to be salt encrusted. And you've done the math. You're going to be within 100 feet of the ocean itself when you're at the bottom of that arc. Well, sorry, you're going to be at about 150, 160 feet. The big carts that you saw that were described to you by Jett, they would have been all but touching the water at the bottom of their arc.
Okay.
But you guys are a much smaller thing.
So want to make a few things waterproof, including ourselves, maybe like goggles or
Yeah.
rain
It's
jackets.
bandana time.
Possibly get some.
Absolutely. Yeah, you guys can go whole hog. Like I said, you got a city, so you think waterproof, so you go to the leather tannery and you find oiled leather, you find oiled cotton, you go to the boat docks, everything is available.
I have a question.
Mhm.
Did I don't remember. Was I in a group when I think it was Lucius and Alice were talking about the hot air balloon plan, or was I like off to the side?
We were in the other room.
I think it was just the two of them, was it? Or 3 of you?
I think
that
it
is
was
another
those two,
option.
and then we
Yeah.
we. Were
I imagine
hanging
we
out.
would have.
We probably would
communicated
told
that
everyone,
idea.
honestly.
Okay. Yeah.
If that was communicated, then at some point when we're starting to talk and if they're discussing all this, I'm like, well, would it be any easier to take this and attach a hot air balloon to it than to have to do all the pulling and roping and
Well, that does give me an interesting idea, and Alice starts trying to look for ways to automate this process instead of having to pedal.
Sure.
Alice wants to see if
absolutely.
she can find a way to automate this process.
Absolutely.
airship.
In fact, a small steam engine would do an absolute treat. The nice thing with steam engines is they don't generate a lot of power, but they generate a lot of torque. So for pulling heavy things, if you could find somewhere in this town a small steam engine to hook up to this mechanism, the rowing mechanism in the boat, you could easily figure out a way to get this thing to crank up there.
Okay, Alice.
Could I?
Oh.
Sorry, I was just gonna say, could I think of anywhere local that we might have that? Like locally, would I remember
The
somewhere?
stuff? Oh yeah, absolutely. Like I said, don't worry about equipment. You basically, if you could think of it, you can find it here.
Okay.
Yeah, Alice kind of shares that, and she says, she says, if we could find some sort of steam engine, we could kind of automate this process, and it would make it so that we're not trying to breathe in this harsh air and exert ourselves in the process.
That would be a good idea too.
It's already been
So
a
we would
pretty
have to-
long. It's been a pretty long day, I suppose. keep on pushing. We can sleep late. Also, that means by the time we get across the rope and into these Badlands, it'd be a little later in the evening come tomorrow. I mean, that might actually not be a bad idea. Travel at night, rest on the interior during the day. And if what you're saying is accurate, well, then we could just take shifts and this can still have us trundling along while we sleep.
Yep. I think the first step is trying to find the parts we need to make sure this is feasibly something that we can do.
So, anybody that's going to go looking for bits and bobs, like I said, they're out there. It's a matter of how good, whether you find them and of what quality. So, anybody that's out looking for bits and bobs, give me a. It's more scrutinizing than searching. You're not looking for something that's hidden. You're just trying to find the right store.
Right.
Would it
Well, I mean,
not be maybe tracking?
What are you tracking?
Oh, sorry. I thought it was tracking. Sorry.
Yeah,
Never mind.
no. This is basically like, where's the leather workers part of town? Oh, there it is. Where's the leather workers shop?
all
Oh,
just
there it
wanna-
is. So
we just all want to go.
might as well just everybody give me
Yeah,
a roll and then
Alice
tell me
is
what you
going.
were looking for. So
Come on, Scroot. Oh, Scroot.
okay.
Alice has like laser eyes, apparently.
Yes,
now.
you do. The rest of you find, like I was talking earlier, oiled leather and oiled cotton, waxed cotton, lots of ways to waterproof this carriage, which would mean that you could rip off almost all of the wood and just leave a framework and build this leather sort of contraption around it. Would also keep it much lighter and easier for you guys to move, or the steam engine to move. Alice, while you're looking around, you look up in the distance. There's a little silver cigar shape on the horizon with fins on the back. And for just a second, like aliens that we never met. But it isn't. It's a different shape and it's kind of reflective silvery. There is a military airship attached to a post just outside of the city of Los Angeles. And it looks like it's big.
Alice doesn't I imagine it's far.
Oh yeah, it's like right on the horizon, yeah.
Alice doesn't just take off running, but I imagine she does take about 10 steps towards it. And she's just kind of standing there in awe until somebody comes up to her and is like,
well, with a number like that, I assume that you probably went up, maybe stop me if this doesn't make sense, but maybe you went up on the roof of a building to get a better look.
oh, like 100%.
And you just almost walked off the edge of the building and now you're just standing there
she's just
staring into the distance.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. You look down to tell them about your brilliance, and they're all running about the place grabbing stuff. They can't. You would have to really bellow.
She's just sitting there staring in her head right now, trying to figure out how long it's going to take to get to it. She's kind of doing the math of.
Give me a cognition.
Okay. No.
Yeah. If what you do figure out, it'll be, there and back again. Well, first of all, there isn't a problem. Back, somebody's got to fly this thing. You're, as far as you know, nobody here is a competent blimp pilot, but
Jet's the closest we got.
How hard could it possibly be? You have a jet, yeah, he can make it go fast, if nothing else. And the other thing you can figure out from the scale of the buildings that are around it, you scratch some quick math, and it's definitely big enough to carry the gondola. Which means the steam engine doesn't need to be used to climb the rope, but it still might be a good idea for, I don't know. Who knows?
Right?
Well, I actually have a question too, because I was not looking for waterproofing.
Okay, what were you looking for?
I had a weird little idea, so I'm looking for a wagon, like just a wagon to bring home.
Yep, plenty.
All right, cool. That's all I was looking for.
Yeah. After a while, Alice comes down and just kind of, she's on the ground now, still staring and just pointing, waiting for
Now,
everybody to finish doing their
really,
thing.
one clear thing one thing I want to make clear about this: it is a balloon. It's shaped like a blimp, but from what you could see, there's only a little tiny gondola on it, and there doesn't seem to be any power source. Like it just goes up on a rope and blows around in the wind, probably for like military spotting purposes. But it is big enough to lift your thing. So,
Okay.
Oh, Alice, is there something that?
She just taps
Oh.
you, and she's just like,
Huh. Well,
she
I
says,
mean, I suppose it's something we have to make a decision on now at this point. How far away? Looking around for the rest. And he does the thing. I can't do it, but he does the like horse whistle,
yeah.
nice and loud, to try to get everybody to come back. It does seem that Miss Alice here has discovered an option for making this travel a little bit easier, but one way or the other, we got to make a decision pretty soon here. I mean, do we go and find a steam engine, or do we go try to track that thing down, which is going to take even more time, and I don't know that anyone is able to. I mean, I surely can't fly the thing.
And Alice says, because it's military, right? You said?
Yeah.
Alice says, well, also there's if we do go and we can't fly it, there's the potential that there are more supplies in that area or in that itself that could lend itself to helping our cause.
Was the Lucius, was the military under the control of Father Graham when he was Brother Graham?
Well, what I know, Kevin.
Nope.
No.
They were not, but they basically stayed out of town. They didn't bother him.
So I suppose we either get there and they're still independent, in which case I doubt we will come back with anything, or we get there and he was able to cast his spell on them, in which case I'm not saying we shouldn't go, but
maybe
in all likelihood they probably took all of their supplies.
Maybe maybe some of us make the journey to explore that, while some of us stay and try to work on a steam engine solution.
I mean, Rebecca can take me pretty quickly, but I don't know what I'm looking for. I could probably take one other.
I think either Lucius or I should go.
Well, yes, but I figure I'd leave that up to the two of you to decide.
Which is really up to you, Lucius.
Well, I was going to say, why don't I take the steam engine, look for the steam engine, and if you want to go with Baptiste and investigate the blimp.
Okay. Does anyone else have interest in going that way? To kind of
Getting his horse are standing there proudly with a cart.
So if I have an idea of how big the thing is and how big it looks now, how long do I mean, I know that this is pretend past, but even in 1890, Los Angeles wasn't a small town.
No. Getting there is probably going to take you a couple of hours.
I was just going to say, maybe
the traffic on the 409 is awful.
It's to the south of the city quite a ways, so yeah.
Just keep an eye on
that's a regular horse, by the way.
An instruction manual, yeah.
Does it make a hell of a lot of difference if there are or not people there, whether or not we would want to go?
Are you thinking you could fly ahead and do some Crowcon?
I was gonna say it's probably a lot shorter a trip as the crow flies, so they say.
Well, and when you say it that way, Jett, I'm sure you might even be able to figure out exactly how it works.
I was kind of thinking a similar thing myself.
They have so much in common. They're both full of hot air.
Well, that's not exactly what I was thinking.
I'll
But
say,
He blushes a little bit.
Point well made.
Misunderstood what that was supposed to mean. Oh.
Little old man Baptiste poking back through.
Yeah.
Well, I'm probably be. What time of day is it now, Marshal Kevin?
By the time you guys got this thing down out of there, it's not much past noon.
I mean, it'd still probably be.
So we could
close
make
on
it
to
there
supper
today.
time by the time we get back.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yep.
It's up to y'all. I have some ideas for this, and I gesture over towards the Palatine.
Al says, if you want to stay, then that's fine. But anybody that wants to come is welcome to. Ellie, if you'd like to come and use your reasonable air in case there are people there. It might
I mean,
not hurt,
wherever,
or
as far as building, I can't really have much contributions, but wherever you guys think you might need me, I can just lend a hand helping. If you guys think you'd need an extra hand, I'm happy to come with.
Or an extra pair of eyes, in all honesty.
yeah.
Sure, I can come with then.
All right.
Okay,
So-
Either
three of
way,
us
it's
to
an
go?
uneven split. So,
So yeah.
And then
So
you two
how are we
gonna stay
dividing
and
the
work on
group?
thing?
Did Alex
Okay, so-
find a steam engine? I thought she did.
It's easy enough. I mean, we by the time you get back, you will have found one. There.
Plus, I want to look for like just bits and pieces of supplies for tinkering, if possible.
Yeah.
Along
Is
the
it-
way.
this
As
would
soon-
basically, this thing would take out the work of trying to get this big thing up the rope, right? Because we could just put it in there and fly it over.
Yep.
Yeah.
It seems logistically the steam engine or the balloon.
Yeah.
If we can do both, we could. But
Yeah.
I mean, if speed is of the essence,
Yeah.
because we're trying to catch a moving
Yeah.
group.
Yeah.
Well, the steam engine is so we don't have to pedal across. It's not about getting it up there.
Well, we pedal.
We could use the steam
Pedal
engine to
and
power a
getting it
pulley
up the-
system, probably, to get it
To
up there.
pull it up, to pull it along.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
You could
we
also-
have two locomotion options
Yeah.
Yes.
at this. Well, if we can get the steam engine built and if we can get the blimp back, we
Yeah.
have two options for locomotion.
And if we if we get to where the blimp is, like I said, there may be other supplies there, or people that know what happened.
That would be nice.
Those are possible. With two tinkerers amongst you, I will give you this. If you have the balloon and you have the steam engine, and you use the steam engine to provide propulsion, you don't need the rope.
Okay.
You have an airship, gondola, steam engine powered blimp mobile.
So both is the best option.
Well, you're
One or the other is the second best option.
You ruined my car idea, Marshal Kevin.
You are still going to need something to get around on the ground. This will not get you around on the ground when you get from island
Make
to
your car, Jett.
As soon as y'all said y'all were leaving, I clapped Lucius on the shoulder and I was like, "Let's talk about some magic." And then
All right,
Oh
well, we're
boy.
done then.
All right, yeah, we're going
Yeah.
then. Yeah.
Okay.
Also, I want to coin the fact that it is now called the Blimp Mobile,
the blimp mobile.
as
Yeah.
given by Marshal
Obvious.
Kevin. That is what we will be driving.
Clearly.
can we get sponsored?
I mean, that's
by
just what
Blimpies,
it's called.
please?
That's just what it
Yeah.
is.
I miss Blimpies.
I thought of
We
that
get
this
there and
morning,
Alice
but
says,
now
we
this
should
has-
call
yeah.
it, we need to name it the Egret.
I
I don't know why.
How about the regret?
Is
the regret.
An apt name.
special
Harsh.
a Baptiste then will ask, is an egret anything like an egret, which is how you say the name of that bird? I didn't
Nope.
feel like bringing it up in my
They're different.
different life
Different.
where I had a weird, strange voice.
They're
When you
where
play
things
Hall
were
and
not
Oates.
ideal.
That was even a different voice.
All right.
So, I want to hear what the plan is with this cart and the magic. So let's have you two guys go first.
So yeah,
Jett, the magical cowboy.
as they're
What do you want?
as they're
I have
pulling
like my
off-
notebooks and everything.
Yeah, as they're pulling off, I clap them on the shoulder, and I was like, "See this cart? I had an idea, right? Like, I'm not a tinkerer,
Okay.
but after you explained it to me, I thought, well, if you could think of it, maybe it can
Mhm.
do." And I was like, "This is just a car with no wheels, or not a car. This is just a cart with no wheels. So if there's something that makes those wheels turn up top inside, if we pulled it down when we get there." Could you like tinker it and change it so we could put this cart on the bottom of it and it would make those wheels turn?
Possibly.
A horseless carriage of sorts?
That's crazy, but I mean it's magic,
I mean,
so it has to work.
It would have to use some sort of engine, right? Like,
Yeah, the steam engine. That's what I'm saying.
we could call it like horse powered, but not horses, just measurement of it,
Yeah, it's like a cart, but not as bulky. Maybe if you shaved off a letter. I don't know. Maybe art.
Maybe. I'll think about that one.
This
It's a work in
is
progress.
doable. This is gearing. Like the steam engine's not going to be small enough to fit in this little cart, but if you wanted to put it on the bottom of the, how would we work this? Give me a tinker and roll, and I will see how smart you get this. How smart your plan is.
Let's see.
It'd also give me about 10 or 12 seconds to think of an idea. Oh, got it. Roll. I already got your answer. Roll well. This is cool.
Oh, I hope so.
That's well. You can't put the steam engine in the cart. It's too heavy. If you know how small you could get one to be in the thing, but you could wind a spring with that power and have a spring-powered cart that goes a certain distance before it runs out of energy.
So clockwork
That's if the
one.
spring breaks, then it goes one big jump over in a random direction.
So basically, like a giant wound-up mouse.
Yeah. Almost exactly
Okay.
like a giant wound-up mouse with a spring in the back. Yes. And you use your steam engine to wind the spring.
Okay, we'll call it a spring-loaded art. So,
So, that's what you guys are in the process of creating. The other three of you get to the military base. The doors to the base are open. There's no guards on duty. There's dust blowing around. It has not been cleaned. There's something about a military base that you can tell it's occupied because everything's tidy. This is not that.
Okay.
And as you
Well,
look
so
in
much
through
for
the
being
gates,
able to ask what
And
happened.
get information. Yeah.
inside there were 4 of these blimps. 3 of them have been exploded and their empty shells are laying on the ground. And there's a sign at the base of the rope that's holding the 4th one that says all balloons must be destroyed in the case of evacuation.
So why wasn't? Okay.
I wonder if something in the destruction of that one went wrong. I mean, if we stop messing with it, who's to say it won't
Yeah.
self-destruct?
Or maybe they didn't have time. If it was an emergency evacuation, is there like a way to get up to it?
There's the rope that the nose of it is hanging from, and then there's a couple of other rope ladders that are hanging down and touching the ground.
How
actually,
long
one
does it
minute.
seem...
There's a small gondola just at
Before
the
we
bottom.
do that, hold on.
Okay.
One second.
Okay. What?
Taking
no.
a look at the is mine?
Oh no, you're good. You froze for a second. You're good.
Sorry. Okay, sorry about that. Taking a look at the other balloons, is there can I figure out what it is that happened to destroy them? Was it a bomb? Did they pull
give me
cord?
give me an artillery. That's probably as close as you're going to get.
I mean, all right. I have a point in that.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes, you have exactly
You
1
have
point
one
in that.
point.
1 point.
You have exactly 1 point.
It is enough to deliver to you a shocking bit of news. You're looking at the other ones. You look back up at this one, and at various points along the perimeter, there's these small black boxes, and each one of them has a fuse. I mean, you've been in enough wars to see fuse before, and it all comes together into one fuse below, and that comes about 3/4 of the way down to the ground, and it's just sort of hanging there. It's like somebody lit it and it went out.
All right.
Well, someone's lucky that
that's
they
fine.
evacuated
Yeah,
because they didn't get fired.
Yeah.
There you go. I rolled a 1, but this is what I learned. Well, the problem is you see, those 3 over there have exploded, but luckily this one has not.
Excellent.
Alice just like turns and she like claps you on the shoulder and she's like, whatever would we do without you?
How long does it seem like this place has been evacuated for?
How thick is the dust?
That's a very good question. Give me that would be a scrutinize for sure. Scrutinizing the dust.
Can Alice also scrutinize the dust?
You can also scrutinize the dust. You certainly may. And hello to everybody in chat.
Dusty
man.
dust.
Are we back with the 9s now?
And Thunderscape, that was
Apparently.
borderline rude. Another 9, yes.
Hey, 9s are good. 9s
I
are
know.
good.
It's
It could be worse. It
You
could
know,
very much be
been,
worse.
it's not a bad number.
it's-
It's just
It's not a
consistent.
1.
It's,
Yeah.
well,
It seems like this is absolutely contemporaneous. Is that the word I'm looking for? Happened
Oh.
at the same time as the city evacuated. But
Okay.
what you guys can tell, the two of you in particular, together, they went the other way. You can tell from the tracks where they came out. They came out, looked at the city, and went, nope, and pieced out the
Oh.
other direction.
okay.
That's worrying
Interesting.
that whatever happened scared the army off.
Is this kind of like so with Fort 51? Does this kind of look like a similar evacuation route, or is this more organized, less organized?
What you do figure out, that's hard to tell because you're just looking at sort of 2-week-old footprints in the dirt. But what you do figure out while you're looking around is this is another one of these private forts. This wasn't the Northern Army or the Southern Army. It's like Fort
Okay.
51. It was a mercenary fort, essentially.
Okay.
And it looks like these guys probably did balloon recon, you would think,
Yeah.
from what you're seeing here. Yeah.
If this was not, if they did not go with Father Grimm, then actually that leads a little bit of credence to the idea that there may be things they deemed not worth taking with them. So perhaps we should spend 20-30 minutes
Poke around.
look around.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. If they've been watching Father Grimm for a while, they might actually have information about what happened.
Mm-hmm. Maybe notes.
Or at
I mean,
least
it's
some,
not
maybe
a-
not all the way up to when it happened, but at least
Mhm.
leading up to it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a southern barracks, but I'm sure I know what an officer's tent looks like.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, that's not difficult.
So-
And there's nobody in this building or in this fort, so it's easy enough to go and find the actual the office. A number of things you guys do find. Yes, they do have notes about Brother Grimm. They did recon, right? It's all, it's mostly troop movements, but there is some intel as well that is really innocuous up until a couple of weeks ago. It was just, the amount of crops they were growing and how many services they were going to and how many times a day they rang the bells, and very innocuous stuff. And then all of a sudden, one day, about
Was it
2 weeks
24?
not quite that detailed, but then about 2 weeks ago, there's a place where they're harvesting everything. They're doing something at the lake. They're building stuff. The bells have stopped. The services have stopped. Nobody goes to the church. Everybody's working on a project.
Interesting that the services stopped. You would think.
There's a private note that some officer has written in a sort of at the bottom of the official report that says, "Wish my men would work this hard. Don't know how he's motivating them."
Well, I mean, they may not have to go to service if they've all been ensorcelled and are under
True.
his sway at all times.
True. Something major, definitely. I mean, I know we already knew that, but the more and more we learn, the more it seems like some kind of like spell or something that happened suddenly.
The notes that say that, is it like, do they have it like logged by day? Does it seem like they were starting to have these things happen over day, or was it like one day?
It starts one morning. The first at first light, the first report is they're harvesting everything. It literally starts at dawn one day. Everything changes.
So what does the note on the day before that say?
The day before that is perfectly normal. They're working the fields like they would be. They're doing maintenance. There's the correct 5 number of services. The bells are rung the correct 12 number of times.
Okay. So it was literally overnight.
Literally overnight, one night. All of a sudden, almost everybody appears to be enslaved, for lack of a better word.
Just for my own personal, what day of the week was that overnight night?
Of course it was. It was a Sunday.
Okay.
I thought of any other day it could be, but no. Why pull the punch now? It was a Sunday.
Alice is just trying to piece things together,
yep.
Timeline wise. And Alice kind of says, if you two can continue looking around if you want. I want to see what's going on with that. And she's going to recuse herself and start. I guess first she would cut the rest, just for her own sanity, the rest of this fuse so that there's nowhere on it that's burnt.
Yep.
Before she climbs up into it.
Yeah, it's still hanging there, but yeah, you have to climb part way up one of the ladders and sort of reach out and cut it, which is tricky because it's a rope ladder and you're in a dress and it's scissors but you get it done. Yeah, so there's no chance that there's a burning ember that's been there for 2 weeks.
Yeah. I know, but you know.
All good.
Trust but verify.
Just very, very quickly, back in town, the two of you are putting together this creation, and there is an almighty spring, and the spring goes right through the side of the cart and goes halfway down the block.
So I could just imagine probably we both like
Lucius pops up. Sorry.
I do have a question, though, just because I want to verify. I wasn't trying to make the cart into this. I was implying make the palanquin or whatever.
Palanquin, yeah.
Make it so that it can be lowered on the other side and made into this. Because the cart's going to be too small for all of us and our horses, right?
Oh, so you wanted to put
I wanted to make
wheels on the buggy? Or on the palanquin?
I wanted to do that so that all we had to do was, with his tinkering, shift the engine that would already be in there from that to underneath. So it's just a swap. Was what I was trying to do. Take away my
spring joke. Go ahead.
You could use the spring
totally
for it.
Blow away my spring joke. It's all good. No, it works. No, it actually makes more sense. Yeah, you are working on that, and I take it back. Back outside at the balloon. Humph.
All right. Alice gets a feeling that they're fine over there in town.
Yeah, there is not a large spring-based explosion.
Yeah, so Alice is climbing up into this thing, just and checking out the gondola. And I guess the first thing is trying to see if I can figure out where this thing would be. I don't know what she would call it. Where this thing would be managed from.
Yeah, here's the
I'm looking for the pilot car.
You're in it. This is an unpowered balloon. So this is where they would that rope at the front that holds it to the ground. That's the control mechanism. It has no motors. It has nothing. It's just a balloon.
Okay.
So you guys are going to have to, if you want it, you're going to have to drag it back to town with your 3 horses and the 3 of you.
Okay.
That's why I had mentioned that you guys figured out that the steam engine could be used as propulsive force.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't have all the information then. That's
No.
okay.
No, it's all good.
So yeah, she just kind of looks.
It's all part of the fun.
She just kind of looks around to try to get an idea of how they're gonna get this back. Whether it's
Yep.
Rebecca's the strongest probably, or if it's kind of a system of linking it between the 3 of them somehow, or what the best way basically is to.
How this works, there is a very, at the end of that rope at the ground, right now it's tied to a big, just basically like a big concrete pad with a hook in it. From up here, you can look around, you can see there's a heavy cart that appears to be designed just for this. You tie the rope to the cart, and then you hook your horses to the cart, and you pull the cart, and then the cart pulls the balloon.
Okay.
And that's how you move this thing.
Oh, well, that's much easier than what I was trying to figure out then. Yeah. Is there there's nothing else up here? It's just empty.
In here, there's some tables. There's some paper and pens. It looks like for sketching out whatever it is that you've seen out there. And there's a bunch of pointy, hollow tubes with little fins on the back. And the backs of them unscrew, and you look in and they're hollow. There's nothing in them. The tip is slightly weighted.
Since I do actually have artillery, can I try to figure out what that might be?
Yes, these
he
are...
said, speaking, hoping he was connected again.
He is connected.
Yeah. She's... what these are is message tubes. You write the information in these and drop them out the window, and they go down and stick in the ground, and the guy on the ground goes and gets them, takes them to his boss.
That's pretty cool. Alice would not know.
And if you all, he says all that, and he says, and I mean, in a real pinch, you can also drop a whole lot of them out the window.
Fill them full of something. Fill them
They
full of water.
don't
And drop
bonk as
them.
much as make a very wet, squishy sound.
Yeah. Yeah, one of those full of water. Water is a gallon of water weighs 10 pounds, right?
Yeah.
From 100 feet up, that'd make a very short, very painful experience.
Yeah. So Alice she points out the cart. I guess since Baptiste climbed, I guess he climbed up here.
Oh, sorry, I didn't.
No, it's all good.
I missed that in
It's
my
fine.
Is it only
issues.
8?
She probably just turned around and she was like, hey. She points out kind of the cart and the best way it seems to transport this thing. And she says, I guess we can hook our horses up to the cart, and you and Rebecca can ride ahead, or.
I mean, a couple of horses tied to it, sure. That should be plenty. I mean, the three horses tied to it will probably make it move faster than 2. There's no reason for me to ride ahead by 20 minutes.
That's fine. I just, that's fine.
You guys can get it hooked up easily enough. So.
And she just, if there's nothing else up here really of interest, she just kind of comes back down and gets to work on getting this hooked up to take with us.
Pouring over stuff. I mean, so I guess, one, are there in fact any...
Oh, good grief. We're dropping like flies.
Oh, no. Am I out? Am I out
Nope.
again?
No, you're here.
Oh, Ellie was out.
We lost him.
I guess it is worth taking a look for any kind of actual provisions that might help us, even, like canned water and hardtack if it has to.
MREs.
Lots of, there's lots of the equivalent of that, yes.
And then
Plenty of food and
second,
water.
does it seem like there's anything, so Lucius vaguely described the direction that they might be going in. are there any other outposts, cities? Is there a town that got built but is empty out closer towards the ocean? I'm trying to see if there's something they might be heading towards.
From what you know and from what Lucius knows, there's nothing out there. This city of lost, the city of angels that he's taking them to, is, as far as anybody knows, complete fiction.
Right, but have these guys with balloons that are doing that?
I see what
have they found anything?
Give me a searching. Because this is sort of looking for
is actually a little bit better, but all right.
Okay, give me a scrutinize. What the hell? I'm feeling good today.
I don't know. I at least got one success with search, so I'll take it.
Yeah, you find a map of the immediate islands in the area. They take you out about 20 miles.
Okay. I mean, this doesn't mean much to me, but Lucius may be able to shed some light on it.
If Alice sees it's a map, she'll take a look at it. Alice actually has cartography training.
Yeah, I will provide you with an actual map in our next session, but because I wasn't expecting this. But what you do figure out quite quickly is they're all sizes. These fractured lands, these islands, they're all the same height, weirdly enough, but they're all different sizes. But it's almost like footprints. There's a set of large ones that sort of head out into the ocean, okay, and most of the ones around them are smaller. So,
okay,
you know, if you wanted to get as far as possible without having to build 200-foot towers with half-mile long rope bridges, you might want to stay to the larger ones.
Yeah.
Well, it seems that this may give us a direction to follow.
Potentially. And Alice kind of looks over it and sees what she can glean from it just on her map skills, and then she gives it back to Baptiste, and she says, we can see what Lucius says with his area of the knowledge, and maybe between the two of us, or between all of us, we can kind of get a better idea of what exactly is where they are.
Cool. And then the last thing, I figured I'll just say this sort of as a standing thing, every time we get a new piece of information, like giant footprints or wandering off to a city in the east, like Baptiste just always kind of goes back and thinks, is there anything from not like just the Bible, but those like, oh well, this is a gospel that didn't make it, or this is religious folklore, that he just goes back and pores over and thinks, does any of this line up?
Give me a faith roll.
Hey, that's something I certainly hope I'm good at.
You were once.
Woo!
15.
Also,
there's one other thing I'm good at, apparently.
One of the other ones was a 13, so there were 2 good rolls in there.
Yes. What do I give you with that?
It's a really good roll, and there's just nothing to learn.
No. I'm just trying to figure out how to phrase it. There are a number of stories in the Bible about journeys. There is the famous 12 Stations of the Cross story. There's the Exodus story. Stories are an integral part of this. And this story seems like it would be epic enough to fit that sort of, at least that sort of worldview. And it appears, as you look again at the footprint, you said it, the footprint islands, maybe there's more to what he's trying to do than just get them away. Maybe he thinks he's discovered some mystical meaning, some correlation, as people do in their book of belief and their world. So who knows what he's thinking, but What you do draw from this is he appears to be, at least in his own head, a man of the faith. And he appears to be operating under the best intentions. He seems to you like he thinks he's inspired.
Okay.
That is how I will phrase that.
And well, while Baptiste is having that super deep moment, Alice is just tying a balloon to a cart.
Yeah. Indirectly, yes, they do. They're heading in the right direction. Yes, you guys get the ladies, as chat keeps telling me that if we want anything done, we have to leave it to the ladies. So you guys get the balloon tied to the cart, and you guys start to move back towards town. It is awkward, I think is the word I'm looking for. This is like 100-foot long balloon in the wind, kind of moving around, and the cart's kind of skittering, and these are not the horses that are used to doing this, and you guys aren't. So give me
boy.
Actually, the two of you are kind of distracted. Ellie, give me an animal wrangling, please. Or are you here, or you're actually
She wants you to borrow her for a minute.
Okay,
Oh.
she's just frozen.
Already had to
Okay,
borrow her.
all right. In that case, the other two of you, give me animal wrangling.
Horse riding. Horse riding.
Damn
Damn it. All right, fine. I'll roll the thing I don't have any points in.
I got one success. Hey, well.
Oh, what?
You stare at your horse.
Hey, man, Rebecca and I, we understand each other.
That's true.
Well, you just rolled mine, though.
Well, because mine's under animal wrangling. I don't have any points in it, so I just roll the pure score.
Right. So it's not -4. So yeah.
Oh, so it's a 10.
Yeah, absolutely.
Still good.
Yeah, the three of you together managed to wrangle these critters back into town, but it is not like you look back behind you, and the track is kind of like skid marks coming down the street as you almost lose it one way and almost lose it the other way. There's a telephone pole. No, there's no telephone poles. There's no telephones.
Telegraph
A
pole.
telegraph phone. Yeah, there's a light. You guys have knocked over a lamp on the way. There was probably some swearing. Maybe a foot stepped on her too.
I just imagine like 3 weeks from now, somebody comes here and they're like, what in the world happened here?
Who took the huge thing down this street?
Yeah.
But to flip back to downtown, you guys see this thing coming. This balloon is just wobbling back and forth like a drunk fat dude at Oktoberfest. It's all over the place on the horizon. And soon you start hearing swearing and skidding and the creaking of wood and wires, and the three of them come around the corner on horses, all pulling one side and leaning. They're kind of laughing and fighting and yelling all at the same time. The balloon above them kind of wobbling in the wind. They turn to look at you, and you guys have got holes punched in the side of the palanquin. You're feeding logs through. There's big wooden wheels waiting to go on next to it. For some reason, there's a huge unrolled spring in a field.
Nobody knows how that got there.
Yeah, there's pieces, like you guys have stripped everything off this palanquin to try and make it light.
I imagine as we're coming in, Skid and Alice is just like, woo!
Reminds me of the 4th of July.
There we go. So we'll, wrestling the horses and getting them finally, and we get it all tied off and we're done. And Baptiste will look at what they've accomplished, look back up at the balloon, and just clap Lucius on the shoulder. We're like, we managed to bring an entire military balloon against all odds back to you. And, well, gosh darn it, if you two didn't manage to break our cart. And I just walk in the house and start making coffee.
Oh,
Yeah.
well.
Yes.
Lucius, give me I'm assuming you look up at this balloon like, oh, wow, with your tinker in mind.
I'm like excited, like, oh my god.
Give me a tinkering or mad science, your choice.
I will do tinkering. Because I'm way better at tinkering.
Meanwhile, Alice is looking for somewhere that we can secure this when it's not in use.
Absolutely, yeah. You find a place that where you can basically, if you just pull it down and under into this, there's kind of a barn, like a
Okay.
yeah. So
Cool.
you can get at least one end of it poked in and tied down.
Cool.
Yes, Lucius, you look up and say, "This is an impressive balloon. This is very impressive. I wonder what all those little black boxes all around it are. I wonder why they're all attached to those strings. The string comes almost all the way to the ground. I smell cordite. This balloon is wrapped in bombs."
Yeah.
Did somebody say dynamite?
Yeah, we fucking know how to party.
I just like why
And
is why did
Alice
you bring-
mimics what Baptiste did to
Yeah,
Lucius
just-
with clapping him on the shoulder, and she's like, "And we brought you a whole bunch of dynamite."
oh.
Wait, did you
Okay.
say to Lucius or Jett?
To Jet.
You guys are standing
Oh.
right there, so
Climbing-
climbing the
Wait, Chase, no.
What is it like? Is this like unstable stuff?
You have no idea. It's black boxes that
Don't
smell
have
like
any idea.
explosives tied to the outside of a balloon.
If yes, he's
Attached to
pulling on me.
fuses.
I'm like, well, we don't want it on the balloon, obviously.
Oh God.
I'll be careful.
Put this on your spring cart.
We
So,
tried-
Remember
what
to
exactly-
go and
Jet,
I'm
you,
like screaming. Remember to be in ghost form while you're up there.
I don't often take a player by the hand and lead them to their death, but Jet, what are we doing?
I'm
God.
very carefully
Yep.
trying to remove these with no fire anywhere near me.
So let me
Check for
expand
traps.
on that sentence slightly. You are very carefully trying to climb a rope ladder to the
Mhm.
bottom of a blimp,
Mhm.
climb halfway out the side of said blimp, climb all the way around perimeter of said blimp, disconnecting 8 explosive boxes in
Hold
the
on.
process
There-
and
There's
not falling off.
There's a hill. Is there somewhere that we can position this so that instead of having to do all this climbing, that we can position it to where you can
Right.
kind
You're
of,
muted.
No, I was
Oh,
waiting for
wait.
Sarah to
where you
finish.
can get
Yeah.
easy access to it from like a hill? Kind of
That's
like when
possible,
you, kind
yeah.
of like if you're too short to get on a horse, you position yourself on a, on a
Yeah.
hill so that you can step into the saddle easier.
That's one option.
Marshal Kevin already said that Sarah was able to pull it down to get half of it in a barn. A barn
Yeah.
door
That's
is
true.
only so big, so half of it is ladder reachable.
That's true too.
Yep.
And then when my coffee's done, we'll flip it around.
Well, I was gonna
That's true.
say if it's in the barn, there's rafters, so I could just.
Oh, yeah.
climb.
Yeah,
You can climb
I
up.
You're right.
all the way
Absolutely.
around
This
it.
will
that's
make
better
it-
than what I said.
This will make it much
I
less
forgot.
difficult. You're absolutely right. See, this is how we talk these things through.
With
I
what he
tried
had to
kill
say
you, you
about
talked yourself out of it. It's
with
good.
what he has to say about the rafters and the barn and all of that, at some point during all of this, we don't have to role play it, but at some point in all of this, I look around and I can't see Jet. Oh, Jet, where are you? And he pops back and I go, oh man, you scared me, boy. I thought you'd been rafted. You see, because rafter sounds like rapture. Where you going?
I thought this was a
And
draft.
that's our show.
back on.
Thanks for coming.
All right, see you next Tuesday. Tip your waitress.
So as you're grumbling to yourself and climbing up into the rafters, give me sleight of hand. Is this a sleight of hand sort of thing where you try and disconnect
hey,
explosives?
Look,
Make an argument for me.
Oh, well, Alice will help
it
him
would-
also.
Technically,
Let me make an argument.
Yep.
I know that's the opposite, but let's say if I reverse engineer, could I use dynamite throwing? Because I've handled so much dynamite in my time that I kind of know how to caress explosives in just the right way.
Dynamite
Give me a dynamite throw and roll as you test your theory.
Oh boy. Alright, throw a dynamite. Ugh.
You, off the rafters, you reach out and kind of put your hand on this box and you pull and it's attached. And you kind of rip. And as you pull it, it comes off and you smell. Yeah, that's definitely burning gunpowder. This is on fire, and you chuck it, and it gets just outside the barn, like the other end of the barn. You throw it out the hay window, and somewhere out in the back you hear, meh.
I didn't do it.
Oh no,
We watched you
you didn't.
Well, I mean, I didn't do it.
No, that was Ryan, not Baptiste.
Oh, I was replying to Alice.
Yeah.
So yeah, you guys hear rip, fling, meh. Oh, sorry, the bat and the boom were in the wrong order. But yeah, there is no more meh.
Survived.
So, if I'm sure somebody pokes their head in.
Yeah.
Alice was gonna try to help you. So Alice is
Hold on. I'm gonna help too. It's like,
Oh, I will
standing
take the pun
there.
damage. I will take the
I'm
pun
just-
damage for you, bastard. I will take that. Absolutely. Thank you.
Just looking down, and I'm like, good news is if we ever are in a gunfight and something's below us, we can throw these off. The bad news is that's literally
bad
I meant you.
news.
That's not no.
Can Alice can Alice use her demolition knowledge to figure out
Oh, imagine
safest
that.
way
Someone with professional
I
training
was
in the
going to
field.
ask
to
about that.
get this off?
Yes, please do. Give me some demolition rolls. Anybody who's got demolitions.
It's an 11.
Meanwhile, Ellie threatens to shoot Jett if he touches another black box.
But, don't shoot in here, please.
Yeah, what's in this thing? Is it what I think it is?
We said it smelled like burning gunpowder, so
No,
In the
I'm
box,
talking
yeah, you
about
don't-
I'm talking
He
about
doesn't
in
know whether it's
balloon.
hydrogen or
Oh.
helium. Yeah.
yeah, we don't know.
Well, we could find out real quick.
Oh, somebody give me an academics check.
I'll do it.
'Cause there is a way that you...
I mean, I got
Just a straight-
chemistry.
Oh, chemistry.
Well,
Yep, give me a
Is,
chemistry.
is there
Absolutely,
the
chemistry would
equivalent
count.
of a redneck way to know? Because I feel
No,
like
no.
You
This,
go
listen
and then
to
see if your
science.
voice comes out squeaky.
I have academia, but it's a cult. So
As,
No,
as do
probably
I.
not then.
okay.
No.
This
What
ship is
about-
powered by demons.
It's
Engineering?
filled with demon
Engineering?
juice.
It's demolition.
He's just like,
engineering.
Yep, that's demons.
No.
Okay. I do have chemistry, but I doubt it's as good as Alice's. So
Well,
I
both.
mean, we
can
can both.
both roll. This
we can
system is weird. Either one of you
put our
could max
heads
out.
together.
Could max out, right? 8 and a 10. Lucius, you're not 100% sure. Miss Alice, this must be helium because hydrogen would have leaked out over the course of the last couple of weeks, and it would have been saggy and required a refill.
Oh, okay.
Because hydrogen is molecularly much smaller than helium and harder to keep in a bag.
isn't helium more explosive?
No, hydrogen.
No,
is the explosive
hydrogen
one.
is.
Helium is safe.
Okay, it's just one.
It's what they should have put.
Thanks,
in
Clockwork.
the-
I
But
know
they would
more
have put
stuff
in the,
about blimps.
It's what they would have put in the Hindenburg, except because of the international tensions, no one would sell Germany helium, so they had to fill it with hydrogen, and that's why it blew up and everybody died.
Oh,
Ultimately,
Damn.
I knew that because of the research that I did for Clockwork.
yep.
Right. It was hydrogen.
Alice,
This
Alice
is a
kind of,
safe balloon. Yeah.
Alice kind of claps Lucius on the shoulder, and she says,
Why are you all
louder
doing
than she needs to. Louder than she needs to. She says, "You're right, Lucius. This is helium."
Helium, I hardly know him. You hear me from the back of the boat.
You're not helping.
Ellie's now got him in a half
know,
Nelson, and she's dragging him out of the building.
Yeah.
You don't even get a roll.
Wait, no, I want the boom.
Yep, there it is.
So you rolled an 11 with your demolition. Go ahead, Lucius.
Demolition or
Yep,
tinkering?
demolition.
Okay.
'Cause this is like to play off to steal from Jett. This is like reverse engineering demolition. So
Yes. This is exactly what most demolitions people do. They do
Yeah.
not spend most of their time putting bombs in places.
Yeah.
They spend their time taking bombs
Wow.
out of
Moving
places.
them.
An 8. Okay.
Okay, it's 8 day apparently for me.
You, Miss Alice, you very deftly disconnect the fuse from the box.
Yep.
And you, you plug the hole, and you use the fuse to lower it down to the ground carefully, and it rests on the ground now. Lucius, you get it off of the side of the balloon, and then you drop it. And as it's going past, all you've got time to do is just kick it with your foot, and you kick it towards the door. So give me we're going to call it a sleight of foot, but it's going to sleight of hand check.
It's something that I might be good at.
Sleight of foot.
I'm not-
And I'm only giving you that because you've got martial arts, so your feet are at least as sleighty as your hands are. We're there. Look at me justifying rolls.
Do I need to tackle Ellie out of the way because we were right outside the door?
Let's see what he
where it goes
rolls.
first.
Oh God.
Sleight of hand is where again? Sorry, deafness.
It's
Deafness.
under deafness. So left hand row,
Oh,
second
God.
box down.
You can burn a chip if you need
Hey,
to.
that's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
bad. That's not
Yeah,
bad.
8's not bad.
It's not bad.
Why am I getting 8?
But that's also the same
That's-
roll that made him drop the box.
Yes.
To
This
be
is
fair.
crazy 8s. 8 on science, 8
chips,
demolition,
chips,
8 sleight of
chips,
hand.
Chips.
I knew I should have taken that luck of the Irish feet.
You know, y'all can spend chips on him, right? That is a thing.
Well,
Yeah,
Baptiste
everybody-
isn't there to be
I'm
everybody-
in the
I
house.
see.
I don't.
Baptiste is just gonna
I see-
hear.
I see how it is. Okay.
Everybody
yeah.
gets real quiet when it comes down to their chips.
Well, spin your chips. You can do it too.
I didn't care. I'll just move.
So, are you
Okay,
burning the
hold
chip,
on.
or are you...
Yeah. Aboard a white chip.
Okay. So roll 1d6.
Oh,
It's not good.
you
got a
can't
blue
do better
chip.
than an 8 on 1d6.
Yeah, you can't do better than 8 on a
Hey.
1d6. You're right.
Oh,
Well, you can
that
because
was
they
a
explode.
win.
Actually, this exploded, so roll again.
Oh,
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah,
okay,
he
what's
can do
happening?
this as long as he doesn't roll a 1.
Yep.
Hey!
11. So
11 is better than 8.
you kick it, and it kind of rolls down your foot, and you realize it's going to go right where Jett and Ellie are, and you
Oh,
do that
God.
little flick with the toe and send it out over them. The two of you see this box fly over you, land just
Oh
behind
my
you.
God.
You hear, boom. You turn around, and it's in the water trough.
Ooh.
I mean,
Can we just work together on this?
The water trough
Oh,
explodes.
okay. There we go.
I thought y'all were smarter than me.
Alice says, "My box is right there on the ground,
Hey.
safely.
lady, be a lady.
You're not here. You're not here.
I'm
Oh,
not here.
rudeness crosses time and space. That was
I'm not here.
Just the shade on all of you.
that was Ryan. That was.
Did you guys hear the wind blow? I don't know.
So
How
You
many?
guys
How many
get-
are left on this thing?
I was just gonna say everybody realizes what has to happen here, and everybody else just takes turns turning the balloon while Miss Alice carefully reloads and drops these 3 remaining explosive boxes to the floor.
Yeah, this tracks. Okay.
I'm not a good at demolitions. It's like, why are you making me roll for this?
So there are now 4 explosive boxes sitting in the middle of this barn with the blimp shoved in above it.
Alice says, "Well,
And
Jet,
Jet's just like,
we saved 4 of them for you."
You got 4 black
Hannah-
items.
You know, Jen,
Hannah, just so you
can't
know, I
art-
played your character while you weren't here, and Ellie put Jack in a half Nelson and dragged him out of here before he could blow anything else up.
Anything else is actually really important. Anything else?
Oh yeah, he did kill a sheep. I don't know if you were here for that part.
That was an accident.
Killed
He was
the
still dead.
sheep?
Yeah.
I don't.
Well, to
I
be
don't-
fair, the explosion killed the sheep.
Yes.
Yeah.
He just caused the explosion.
Sorry. You blew up a sheep.
I didn't know. Why was there a sheep there? There wasn't a sheep here. Not here.
I was just gonna say you
Godforsaken
can't.
town.
You get
This
the
is the
feeling
only
some-
livestock here.
You get the feeling some 50-something bald guy has been following you around with a sheep for weeks, waiting for them to.
Just waiting for his moment.
Willie's in the bushes going.
To be fair, Willie just hides in bushes going, it
Yes.
doesn't matter what.
You only had the
Like
sheep
Baptiste
because,
comes out with a pot of coffee. He's like, coffee's ready. Willie.
He like walks around the back of the barn and there's just a crater.
Yep.
And a lot of blood and some wool.
And wool.
Some
yeah,
wool.
to absorb it all. Okay,
It was a
there we
creeper.
go. That was enough. Let's go have a break because apparently we need one. Apparently I need
Yeah.
one. So let's take a standard 20-minute break, and we will be back then, and we will do more. We will get you guys all put together and on our way.
Well, hey, y'all. Hope you enjoyed them break messages. Now, as I was saying at the beginning of the show, I'm sure Larch is going to be fine, and I have no interest in helping find him. But I think that the technical difficulties tonight are proving that perhaps I may need to adjust my opinions on that, as that metal son of a bitch is the only one who knows how to make this shit work. So I may contribute a few clues to speed up the process for all you who are concerned. But for all those who aren't concerned and want to see how they're going to get across this rope, let's find out who Jett blows up now.
well,
Wow.
Lenny and Marty go looking for a larch in a forest. I don't know how they're going to do that. Okay. Back where we are, we have many explosives, a cowboy that wants them, a balloon shoved in a barn, a gondola / palanquin, and a steam engine, and a bunch of gears, and some wheels, and
Giblets.
And one damn fine cup of coffee.
one excellent cup of coffee, and one less sheep than there used to be.
Yep, sheep giblets.
So,
Yeah, let's smash some of this stuff together and see if we can't get a working thing here.
And if you're watching this on YouTube, smash that like button.
We went there.
we can take that out in post, right?
I don't want to. It works with the algorithm.
No.
I'm color correcting because my face turned so red. I'm schwitzing over here. All right. Well,
Okay.
hey,
So,
you
yeah.
tinkery nerds keep doing your thing. I guess the gunslinger's gonna be an NPC again.
Make some coffee. Yeah. Let's just do this in one roll, and then we'll do a montage.
Yeah.
So one tinker and roll each. Anybody wants to
Okay.
help? If you can think of ways that you might help.
Does me staying away from the black dynamite count as helping?
I think these people would probably suggest it probably would.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm helping then.
I'm helping. That's a 7.
There's, it's just a thing where it's like
That's
later.
a 9. I know it's not an 8, Lucius, but if you average it with Sarah's, then it is.
Wait, hold on. Based off of what Mr. Jett did have to say, what do I have? What can I contribute to this?
Oh, goodness.
I will give a red chip to re-roll. Wait, let me see whose math averages actually work out better for this.
I'll give a blue chip if he won't give a red chip.
Wow.
Mine's
All right, fine.
3d12.
Give a blue chip.
What is
that's a little
happening?
better.
I feel like the general consensus was don't give a red chip or you're that asshole.
It just means I get a chip. That's all.
Because Kevin gets a
that's
chip.
horrible.
We never
No,
get in
but a
fights. When
red
am I
chip
going to use a
lets
chip?
you. But a red chip lets you add what you roll instead of
Yeah.
only getting the worst die.
That's why Kevin gets a chip.
I just don't trust Kevin.
Fine, burn your blue chip.
Here, blue, boom. What does blue do? There, I took one off.
It's just a reroll, right?
You get to re-roll and add it
Yeah.
and add it, and Kevin doesn't get
Oh.
a chip.
Who's got a better tank, Alice or Lucius?
3d12 smart plus 5
I
plus
was
2
just
tinker.
I was just joking, but
Yeah,
Sure, let's-
mine's 3d10s
all right. Let's throw it at Lucius.
or
then.
5d10s technically because I have a 5 in tinkering.
We bonded while y'all were gone. He and I have a rhythm. He taught me some things about this magic y'all do. There was a spring involved. You don't need to know.
You're a beautiful couple. Give him the chip.
Yeah.
Okay. So do I roll?
You
You roll 1d12 and add it, right?
12 and 12 edit? Okay. Don't screw it up.
Yeah,
So
That's
that's a 17.
It's
Yeah.
another
17.
it's 2
Yeah.
more successes.
And it's an 8.
That's three. That's 3
Yes.
successes plus 1 from Alice. So 4 successes altogether. You guys get this thing strung together. It makes sense to keep the gondola nice and close to the bottom of the balloon, especially because there's already that little cupola hanging off the bottom, but that had the recon bubble there. So you guys can pull it right up nice and tight. The only problem is the steam engine. You have to figure out how to vent the heat out the sides, so you don't blow up melt a hole in your balloon. There are some technical things to figure out, but with the help of everybody else hauling heavy stuff and doing other things and making propellers and whatnot, which would just be like big fan blades, I'm assuming, you guys end up at the end of this with imagine it. I mean, it's the Zeppelin with the long gondola underneath it, with wheels on the bottom of that, 2 big posts sticking out the back with fan blades on them, just whirling in the wind. And you guys test drive it up and down the street. You put enough ballast in to keep it from lifting off. Who's going in it for the first flight? Who's flying it? How are you controlling it? Is any of that going to happen? What's the plan? It's that moment.
All right, here I actually do have a suggestion for this. Now, I mean, would it be useful if we had a guide rope coming down and was, tied to a device or tied to the back of the saddle of a horse that went out in front of all of this? And would that help steer it, get it in the right direction?
It's the one thing you guys are missing is steering.
Maybe. We could also potentially attach something from the bottom of the gondola or from above to the rope, and then we could steer so that it would kind of keep a straight path with the rope. Does that make sense?
That could work.
I don't understand how an airship works, but I mean, I get how a boat works. The mast is a rigid structure, not a rope. I mean, so do we need a fixed? I'm asking. I'm not saying it's wrong.
Oh, well, I was talking about having like a rope or something that comes down and connects to the big rope that just keeps it straight.
I was thinking the same thing.
Oh, that helps us getting across the rope bridge.
Yeah.
And then when you get the other end, you can use the horse steering system.
Yeah.
There you go. You got both problems covered.
And just
That
in case
way-
we have to rise it,
Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, just in case, like, maybe the cliff sides are higher than, like, maybe like twined up ropes so that we can actually rise it higher or lower if need be, if you know what I mean. Like, the rope is more of
Oh,
like
yeah.
a guide, which is
I get what
important.
you're saying.
Yeah, I
Like
see
a
what you
pulley
mean. Yeah.
system
So
that we can just kind of like.
So you can float it up to that line, hook onto the line, go, and then if you need to, you can lift up or get
Yep. Yeah.
from the line.
So that we're not just stagnating, like, on like maybe running into rocks or something like that, you know? So,
Right.
But yeah.
Yeah. It's just one
Or
solution.
take
We can. I mean,
Those
I
both
mean,
work.
but that sounds like that solution works. There's no reason to.
yeah, and it prevents from tiring any of the horses or having to do any of that. At least until we get to land.
And now with all this stuff removed from this unit as well, it's going to be much easier to walk the horses on. I don't know how well they're going to like flying, but we'll find out shortly.
We can probably
Find an
find some
instruction manual, Alice.
blinders.
Oh yeah. Hood to your
No, there was
horses.
no instruction manual.
And one of the horses is saying to them, "What are we doing? This doesn't feel right." I know, but I can't see anything. I know I can't feel anything either. We're walking
Yeah.
back and forth, though. I don't like it. I think it's a bridge.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what they do to put horses on trailers that don't like,
Yep.
you know.
So that's
Yeah.
the plan. The last couple bits of rigging is easy to put together. This took you the rest of that day. I mean, you had to go all the way down there and get the balloon and all the way back up here and then put this all together. So it is now definitely getting on towards evening.
Yeah. So I guess the question now is, do we sleep a couple of hours, leave in the middle of the night, leave now, take shifts, or leave in the morning?
Well, I mean, there is something. I mean, this doesn't seem to go very quickly. I mean, we can. We've had a long day. We could certainly sleep in late, and I don't know about the rest of you, but it might be nice to go around and see if we can find a couple of nice bottles of wine. And I mean, with nobody around, I'm sure I can find a deer to bring down. Have a proper dinner, all of us. Sleep in, collect our things, leave tomorrow afternoon. That way, by the time we hit the salt flats, it'll be evening.
Yeah. I don't think that sounds like a bad idea at all.
Everybody's good with that? Then let's do that. You tie up the... Oh. You can spend the rest of the evening while you're having your wine and your deer, because yes, the wildlife come back very quickly when people are gone, and they've been gone.
Nature
2
is
weeks,
healing.
So. Yeah.
Except for that goat.
Yeah. The bilingual goat, because it went. Bah. It was a sheep when it blew up, but
Oh, that's whatever. I
it
forgot.
blew up so hard it's a goat now.
That was like 10 minutes ago. I've slept since then.
It's hard to tell what it is now, so.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep,
So,
hey, yes.
But yes, before tomorrow morning, it occurs to you that you should probably name this thing that you put a whole day into building. I mean, ship's got to have a name.
Tallulah. No. We call it Cool Runnings.
Ooh, runnings. Yeah,
Well, you know.
I don't know on that one.
Ship sheep. I like that. Yeah.
Hold on. I actually have.
The crashing
Add to the
exploding.
bone. Yeah. Explode face? No, what?
I said the crashing exploding.
Speaking of which, just because I want to know, there were 4 large boxes of explosive devices sitting in the middle of the barn. Has anybody stopped him?
I was gonna say I took one if no one stopped me.
He does what he
Yeah,
does.
I didn't ask whether you took. I asked if anybody stopped you.
There's not so much of a
Imagine,
there's not so much as a
Imagine Hannah would,
stopping of him taking them. There is kind of a conversation of like, if you want to take them, let's do it the safe way. Please let us handle it.
That is not the face that is on the Dynamite Safety First video.
Look, I just want them. How do we? I will talk to her. I'll be like, all right, well,
Yep.
how do we need to pack them? These are these sweet babies. And I pat it a little
Yeah, they
My
are
sweet baby.
He's got them all named. He doesn't care about naming the ship. He just names the dynamite.
Yeah, this is
What?
basically a box of dynamite guts. Like, it's all the stuff that's in dynamite, but it's not in tubes. It's just a box of gunpowder and trinitrotoluene.
It reminds you of that
TNT,
jar
yeah.
full
Yeah.
of that jar that Jett had that one time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna call them Big Daddies.
Yeah, there we
And
go.
in this case, you can tell, especially being the explosive expert that you are, you can tell these are designed to blow up, and the case itself becomes shrapnel.
Yeah.
So yeah, they make a mess.
So
Ellie,
Alice will
Is there
help
anything
Jill pack.
Ellie wants to Hannah? You haven't said like 6 words all night. Is there anything Ellie wants to do?
Sorry, rural internet's not great right now.
Oh, I get you. Okay, yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Well, jump in anytime you need to say something.
No, I mean, I was gonna do something when we were at the camp, but I can't really now. So I think Ellie's just gonna kind of, I mean, she's not gonna stop Jett, but she's definitely kind of like giving him the look of, I swear to God, if you blow yourself up, I'm gonna kill you.
The big sister look.
But no, I think she's leaving all the technical stuff
Okay.
to Lucius Allen.
I was just checking to make sure you were still
kind of
really
the
here.
look of like, you know what you're doing. Are you being smart?
Yes.
I imagine there's a lot of with this Alice and
I'm-
Jett thing, like, stop. Right.
It's so pretty.
Leave it alone.
So you may call them what you wish. If you would like, you have 4 big daddies.
Woo!
Yeah, I'll help him
If
pack.
you're allowed.
I'll help
How
him
very
pack
Tennessee
them
Williams of you.
safely.
I'm like Rolda now.
On the
Ooh.
subject of naming things.
No, I trust Rolda.
I'm just gonna let that lie for a second. On the subject of naming things, sort of as the evening progresses, as the conversation comes up, actually, yeah, like Baptiste will sort of raise his wine glass and will say, "Well, if nobody has a preference, Miriam was the sister of Moses, and unlike her brother, after wandering through the desert, she made it to the promised land. I would suggest Miriam."
I like that one.
Any opposition?
No, I had some
So,
ideas,
like,
but
the
honestly,
competition with it.
I like that.
I had no ideas beyond making it work.
Something with hope, and I think that's perfect.
That's
actually,
beautiful. I really
Oh
like
wow,
that.
I hate
That
to
fits in
ruin
so
that
well.
beautiful moment then, because
You want to call it Big Mama?
no, just at the mention of it being a religious name, Jett just kind of goes a little sour, and he just kind of pipes up, and he's like, "Well, is there any story about anybody who went into hell? Because I think that might be a little more apt for what's about to happen."
Well, we could call it Virgil, but traditionally ships are named after women.
Mm-hmm.
Miss Virgil. Well, look, name it whatever you
Miss
will.
Virgil.
Just a thought.
I've
Can't
seen
be
Miss
worse than the
Virgil.
rich-
She's at the Cactus Cocktail on Thursdays.
Yeah.
Well, and
I went
Alice.
to a powerboat race and got to tell people I spent all weekend staring at Miss Budweiser.
And Alice kind of says, she says, I mean, it may be religious at a deeper level, but it's not overtly. It's story based.
Doesn't one of you have a backstory name? A mother or something?
Yeah.
I'm sure we all have names.
I mean,
No, I mean, but that was Miriam, wasn't it?
Marianne.
Marianne.
My
okay,
mom's
that's what it
name.
was.
As
Or
I
Alice's
pull
mom's
up my character history.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
mine was Phoebe, so
Right, not you. Okay.
Yeah, my
Anyway,
mom's name
Miriam
was
is on the
Marianne.
table. That's where it sits now.
Miriam, get off the table. We're trying to have a discussion.
But
Oh,
it's
yeah,
the
Alice doesn't
promised
have-
land.
Alice doesn't have any oppositions to that.
I said my piece. I don't care.
The other two?
No, Miriam sounds good to me.
Well, I mean, as much as I do appreciate, in all honesty, the reasoned voice of doom and gloom, I suppose we should have a conversation. I mean, this very easily could be something not all of us make it back from.
Mm-hmm.
Walking into the desert, this man has ensorcelled all that he has met. I would like to think that we're strong enough to fight against it, but all evidence points to the contrary.
Are we
And
trying-
he does have an army of people at his command.
I guess we should probably also get to the point. Why are we going?
I think every
follow.
chair shifts towards
Yeah,
Lucius.
everybody just looks. Alice looks at Lucius.
Well, I wondered that myself. I know why I'm going, and I know why Baptiste's going. I don't know why you guys are going. And to be honest, I am worried about your safety, and I don't know this, as Baptiste has said, this could be very dangerous.
Mhm.
You don't have to come. But
No,
I know I have to go.
I meant more like literally, why are we going? Are we gonna go kill the man? Are we gonna just get your family and get out? Are we gonna liberate the people, as Mr. Baptiste might put it so eloquently? What is
we can.
If it is magical in nature, there's a chance that killing Father Grimm may do all of the above.
Mm-hmm. But that will be one hell of a trial.
or a lot of big daddies?
Boom.
Oh, we can somewhere about 6 months down the road. The line is "Big Daddy's in the house." It's just it's all gonna end.
Hail Mary.
Hail Mary, Mother, and Joseph.
That's what we should have named the blimp.
That's what he's gonna call the other three.
Hail Mary.
The Hail Mary.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, because you didn't like the religious name.
Right?
that's right.
To be
Hail
fair-
Mary is more religious than Miriam.
Well,
would
I was
say.
thinking football, but I hate football.
Football
but
hasn't been invented yet.
it's my favorite play
What's
in
football?
because it's the only thing I know about football.
And what is the Hail Mary?
Are we
It's
talking
where
about
you
European
throw a long
football?
pass and you hope that your receiver catches it. And I know this because of Frasier.
It is the
Well,
smartest show on television.
It
It is.
is.
But you got
was
your
it- that's true.
football knowledge from Frasier.
Look, we'll talk about the
All
bit
the
later.
knowledge to take from that show.
Yeah.
Question was not that is important. Not important. Anyway.
Okay.
Apparently,
yeah,
it's not just small town Alberta.
It's
Apparently, all of northern Alberta's internet is being crap tonight. So at least we can still hear you.
every once in a while. Alice just kind of. It's like, what else am I gonna do? Come all this way. Spent all day building a thing. Gonna see that in action, so.
That's it. That's the most Miss Alice thing I could think of. I mean, I gotta see this.
Yeah.
I gotta make sure this works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, are you kidding me? This needs to be tested. I'm not gonna leave before that happens.
All right. So, fresh venison, good wine, and plenty of it if anybody wants. All about the place. I'm assuming you guys go back to the mansion for the evening. You're all set up there.
Yeah.
Long, healthy night's rest.
Yeah. At some point, before.
Everybody's fingers going up, be like, we have, you're not going to get us through the night without a bunch of interruptions.
Mine is.
I'm just pointing you in a rough direction. That's all I'm doing. Just somewhere over here.
Mine is quick, and I don't need to role play it out.
Nope.
In the middle of the night, I will ask, I guess, Ellie to take a walk with me. And if she'll oblige me, Alice in the middle of the night, without telling anybody else, is going to go down and paint the name on the side of the ship, so that when everybody gets there in the morning,
it says Alice.
It says Alice.
I'm sorry.
No, it's like you can like it says Miriam, but you can see where it clearly said Alice before, and she like painted over it. But no, she asked Ellie along to just.
It's signed.
Yeah.
It says Miriam, but it's signed Alice.
The Miriam Alice.
Yeah.
See, I was thinking more like when you got to the A, you just were like Miria Alice. Damn it.
Dang. Force a habit. But no, she just asked Ellie to walk with her, A, for conversation, and B, for buddy system, and
spelling.
And spelling.
Spelling.
Alice is smart. She doesn't need help with spelling. She went to school. And
wow.
you know, she just she will kind of she'll just paint the ship, have a nice little chat with Ellie, and then she wants to go into some kind of shop. And she's not going to change clothes, but she does want to find another outfit that will be revealed at a later date.
Absolutely.
And that's it. That's all I wanted to do.
Okay. And then the two of you paint the balloon.
That's a 17.
Oh, it's well done. Tell us about this. Which font did you use?
Garamond, I feel.
Oh, okay. So you just invented that too. Why not? We invented the horseless carriage earlier tonight. You could, and then ignored it. So never mind. Yes,
yeah.
It is done beautifully by the morning. Yes, and you've done the sort of the way it looks 3D.
Sure. Yeah.
I mean, it's 17. You did a nice job.
Yeah. I imagine there's like some kind of like you see around me now.
Yeah.
There's this kind of there's basically what she will do is for everybody else in the party, she picks if you'll allow me, she picks a corner, and everybody gets their own design in a corner. And then she hides her design in the A.
Okay, so what are just with as much as you know right now, what do the other designs look like?
So on one corner there would be a little crow, and then on one corner there's a card. On one corner there is what would be like a tinkerer's symbol. Something for Lucius that would be like a symbol of like.
When you think of Lucas, what is the tool that you think of?
Well, the shovel.
Lucius.
But
it is.
Yeah, I guess I would put the shovel.
Yeah.
And then for Baptiste, she will put two little guns crossing each other.
Yeah.
And then in the inside the A, she'll paint a little camera, just hidden inside the A.
Did you do Ellie?
Yeah, it was a card.
The card, right? Okay, right.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But
I can only remember three things
a
at once.
card. That's fine. It's a card, but it's gorgeous, but the edge of it is just a little frayed.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
Very nice.
I wasn't going to do that, but since I rolled so well.
So
what?
It was just like helping with the color. Just like, Miss Alice, if something ever happens with your photography career, you ever think of painting?
And Alice, she kind of stepped back and she looks at it but then she thinks back to the other time when she tried to paint that backdrop and it didn't go well. And she's like, photography is much more of a consistent art form for me. I'm not quite as consistent with my painting abilities.
Maybe you finally found your place. You're a balloon artist.
Maybe.
small target audience, but good money, I would assume. So that's what, yeah. So that's what you do over there.
I wasn't gonna do all that extra stuff, but then I rolled. So I rolled well.
Look at the way you rolled.
Yeah.
And let's go to Ryan next. What is Baptiste doing?
So I would guess that probably after that, like hearing people coming back in, and it's a big, it's a Alice found us a nice mansion, so I'm guessing we all have our own rooms.
Oh yeah.
But I will assume that Baptiste kind of picked a room that shares a wall with Alice's, and so in the night after they've come back, he kind of knocks on the wall, sees if she answers.
Of Alice's wall?
Of Alice's wall.
Oh, okay, sorry. Yep. She just kind of
knocks back.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so, just loud enough. I mean, old house. Kind of talking loud enough that you can sort of hear through the wall a little bit, this shared wall. It says, so realistically, what do you think the odds are we'll all survive this?
Well, I suppose we're gonna find out in a few days, but I've lived a good life. Hey, if something does happen to me, can you go find my dad and tell him he's an asshole for me?
This is a bit of, you kind of hear him laugh on the other side. Sure, I suppose. Hang on a second. And you hear like rustling in Baptiste's room, and you hear footsteps, and then like on the door to your room, you hear a knock.
Yeah.
Yep.
She opens it.
Baptiste is standing there, and he is wearing his hat, and that is it.
What?
So
I don't need to role play anything else.
Nope. And Sarah, no additional pressure, but this is the sentence we're going out on tonight.
Yeah.
No, come on, no,
not yours. Hers.
So she opens the door. She just opens the door, just la-di-da-di-da.
Yep. And there is 30-year-old.
And she's kind of dumbfounded.
Baptiste, yeah.
And she's kind of. It's a hell of a way to go out. And she just grabs him by the back of the hair.
And he just gets his hand out to pull the door shut behind you. The door bangs shut. Just like it does on this episode, because there's no way we're going to top that in 20 minutes.
Oh my god.
I had one.
Mine
Sorry?
can wait.
Yeah, Sky had a thing.
Oh, okay.
Mine can wait till next week. It's not... trust me, it's gonna be awkward because I was getting up in the middle of the night, so we'll see how that pans out. Yeah, let's just hope I don't walk through any walls. It'll be fine.
Oh, wow. So, okay, well, because I cut you off and didn't give you that scene this week, you tell me, the start of next week, you tell me whether or not you saw this. I'll give you that for waiting a week.
I don't think it's seeing I'm worried about.
Outside setting off explosions. What are you doing, Jett? I don't want to hear nothing. I don't want to hear nothing.
This is the only Big Daddy I want to hear right now. And that.
Oh, there we go. Oh, we're done.
No, that's how you cap an end. That's how you cap an episode.
Yep, that is how you put an end on that. Holy smokes. Oh.
I'm not sure if you're waiting for me, but I have no comments.
I was just going to say, I don't think we need to put anything on the end of this. Can we skip the this is what other stuff we do this week? I just need to go and wash my brain.
All right, no, we'll do lightning round plugs. Anyone got anything? Starting with Baptiste, what you got going on this week?
We just put out a really fun DIY, so go check us out at Roll for Initiative, ROLL for Initiative at YouTube. And if you like us, tell a friend.
Awesome.
Fantastic.
Sky, go.
Oh, I do YouTube stuff. Me and Sarah, we're doing stuff. And there's this whole... I almost said
tomorrow,
Sarah,
segue.
can you be more specific?
You got it. Tomorrow, Wednesday, Hero Factory featuring Joe Cat. The episode where we tried to make the Wiggler. See how we did tomorrow. At what time, Skylar?
11 a.m. Eastern Standard.
I didn't remember,
look at that.
so that's fine.
It's consistent.
Excellent. And the other two, I'm sure, are doing things, but we get to you. So we're going to have to skip you guys this week. Meet Thursday and Friday over on Dirty 20 Gaming. That's all you need to know when you're not here. With that, plug your ears, wash your brain. We'll see you next week. I don't want to say this. We'll shoot you next week.
Ew.
Bye.
What's a drunken gnome like you are gonna do?
The drunken gnome illusionist, he headed to the cave and found some dead adventurers who tried to be so brave. Their torn and mangled bodies lay upon an open grave, a slaughter that would marvel even Drist. For their swords and their shields and their armor was the best. Their wizard had a fireball and telekinesis, but no one had a little flask of whiskey in their fist like the drunken gnome illusionist. The drunken gnome illusionist had almost sobered up. He held his flask of whiskey and he toasted buttons up. Then he heard a voice from high above him sadly ask,
Would you like to share? I've got a cup.
The dragon wasn't blue or black or red or green or white, silver, copper, bronze or brass or gold as morning light. 'Twas an amber-colored dragon just like whiskey from a flask.
I'd rather share a drink than have a fight.
And the whiskey dragon smiled as they shared a drink or two. The drunken gnome illusionist, he knew just what to do. With permanent illusions made the dragon's lair anew, fulfilled the whiskey dragon's lifelong wish. Now the cavern was a tavern where the whiskey air would flow. The dragon had a flagon and the town would always know that he had saved them with a little flask of whiskey in his fist. The drunken gnome illusionist. The drunken gnome illusionist. The drunken gnome illusionist. The Phoenix was bored. He wanted much more than to spend all his time just waiting to die, to rise up again, again and again, again and again and again and again. Phil the Phoenix was smart, a mind like a dart. He wanted to learn much more than to just burn. He wanted to fill up his knowledge skills. So to the library flew the Phoenix named Phil. He flew and he soared through doors and landed upon a brown desk and made quite a mess. The library clerk, she smirked as she worked. She said, "You'll be needing a library card." He said, "I am Phil, 2 L's, 1 Y. I'd like to read books ere I once again die." She said, "Go on in." We closed